Hello and welcome to the biology topic, Genetics and Evolution, Lesson 1, Inheritance. We are going to take a look at how we're all different and what controls these different characteristics. And we're going to look at this in a cellular level. So if you haven't done the cells topic, you really need to, okay? Do that first and then come to this, because that will just help you with the structure of the cell that we're going to look at a little bit later in this lesson. So we've got some pictures there of different people of different ages, and I want you to think about how they are all different. Okay, there are some of the differences are more obvious than others. Okay, and some differences when you put people side by side are not as obvious. You've got two very different hair colours there, okay, and not only that, you've got different you've got curly hair, okay, you've got a very different texture of hair here. You've also got different skin colour. You've got, here's a really good example of different height, okay, and we've got two different eye colours, and again two different hair colours, although not as extreme as, say, the red with the black hair. All right, we've also got differences in the terms of male and female. Now, all of this we're talking about inheritance, so where we inherit these characteristics from and what enables us to be so different. So how is it all controlled? All right, that image there, if you don't know already, is an image of DNA through an electron microscope. Now, the cells in your body, all the cells in your body contain DNA, and DNA is what controls your characteristics. Okay, so every cell has DNA. Now, what you need to know is where we find all of this. So if we take this as a simple cell, okay, and this is the nucleus of the cell. So all the genetic information is stored here in the nucleus of your body cells. So that's a complete set. And it's important that you remember the term body cell, okay? Because there are also sex cells. So the male and female sex cells, they don't have all your genetic information, okay? They will have half the genetic information. They don't have as much. So we're just talking about body cells. Now, when you magnify that nucleus and when you go in to have a look at it, it contains chromosomes. Now, it's important to remember that we're talking about humans today, but different organisms will have different numbers of these chromosomes, and we quite often represent these chromosomes as X's, as has been done here. Then when you take a chromosome and magnify it, you can see the size of that there, and also within that chromosome what you will find is that it's a strand of DNA. Okay, so if we take a magnifying glass like we have there, and you can see here, you'll get the strand of DNA here. Now, on that strand of DNA are genes. So we've gone up in stages. So we've gone from the nucleus will contain the chromosomes. The chromosomes are what the organism has inherited from their parents, and it's the chromosomes help to determine the characteristics. Now, genes will code for a specific characteristic. So there will be a gene for hair colour, a gene for eye colour, for example. Okay. Now we need to know a little bit about the history of DNA. We've got another example of what it looks like here. It's interesting to see, isn't it? So take notice that we often refer to this as a twisted ladder, okay? Because if you untwisted it, it would just look like the rungs of a ladder. You can see them here. This is also called a double helix, okay? Now, DNA was only discovered in the 1950s. Okay, and two scientists built a model of DNA, or what they felt was a correct depiction of DNA. The two scientists are known as Watson and Crick, and they did this in 1953. Okay, so they were the ones that showed us this two chains, two sides, so this being one side and this being the other side, into the twisted ladder. Okay, they put loads of information together to present us with this. All right, and at Key Stage 4, you'll go on to learn a lot more about what's actually held within here and what these rungs are. All right, we don't need to know that at this level. Okay, so we need to look at where we inherit our characteristics from. Now, humans have 46 chromosomes. I've already mentioned that different organisms have different numbers of chromosomes, but we're going to specifically look at humans, and they carry 46. They carry them in pairs of 23 in body cells. Okay. However, when we're talking about reproduction, the offspring gains 23 from each parent. So they'll get, this baby here will get 23 chromosomes from the father and 23 chromosomes from the mother. Now, that is because the sperm, the male egg cell, or the male gamete, that is because the sperm, the male gamete, holds 23 chromosomes, and the egg, the ovum, the female gamete, holds another 26 chromosomes. These are not in pairs, okay? Now, the chromosomes are what contain the genes, and it is the genes that code for the different characteristics, like we've already mentioned: hair colour, skin colour, eye colour, okay? So we will inherit a mixture of those characteristics from our parents, depending upon the combination of chromosomes we are given from the pool that there is. Okay, so that gives you some background on inheritance, and that you talked about we talked about the cell and where everything is contained and the role of different things. So you've got to be clear on the terminology. So we're talking about the characteristics, we're talking about how we inherit them, so how they're passed on from the parent to the offspring, and we're talking about what controls all of that. So the fact that it's strands of DNA that are in the form of chromosomes, okay, and genes are on those chromosomes. Now, what you need to do is go and have a look at the worksheet, see if you can complete it, and re-watch the video to help you if you need to. And we'll see you again very soon for lesson 2.